Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Simply Stocks, and today I'm going to talk about BIRLASOFT. I'm giving a snapshot about the company and why the stock has fallen so much from the top and what lies ahead. So let's get started. First of all, a disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation. People taking any position to any share that I talk about should do that with their own due diligence and research, and I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. Before I talk about BirlaSoft, here's a small request. Can you support me on Patreon? Once you do that, it will help me grow the channel. Help you also ask me questions and out answers in greater detail. Once you get a $10 membership, you'll have access to my portfolio, my watch list, and number of podcasts I put up from time to time. And also, if you can pay $100 upfront, you get 1 year access by paying for 10 months. For detailed market or company talk, you can directly email me and we can work things out with a fee. Now about the company, established in 1990, BirlaSoft provides digital solutions and enterprise services and automation processes solutions. Its major sectors served are automotive, energy, insurance, capital markets, life sciences and manufacturing, and have presence in North America, Europe, Middle East, and Asia Pacific. The market cap of the company has dipped to around 9,000 crores at the moment. It used to be a pretty decent company at around 15,000 crore market cap, but has declined around 60% from the top. Now about the numbers, these are Q1 FY23 numbers. So sales went up by 22%, which is pretty decent, but profit growth has been only 7.5%. And what that tells me is, and this is a very important point here, is that the stock could trade at around 14-15 times. So even now it is trading at around 18 times. It looks attractive, but could very well go to around 15 times earnings or 14 times earnings, and that's where probably it could just purge and then move higher. So there could be a 15-20% decline from here, so be extremely careful, because the valuations although look attractive from a 2-3 point of view, and that's what exactly I'm going to point out, but with the kind of 7.5% year on year profit growth, it doesn't look good that the stock is trading at 19-20 times. In terms of performance, it has been a big outperformer in 2021, did extremely well, more than doubled, in fact tripled from the lows of 2020. Has been consolidating recently, and the stock has declined, in fact 60% over the past, you can say 8 months, not 6 months, but even 8 months. If you look at January highs, it has declined 50-60% from there, and have been delivering decent margins, but the profitability has declined, and that has been the problem. Results have been fine, but not extraordinary for it to have a, you can say, a PE of say 25-30. I think prospects of slowdown in Europe led to sell-off in most mid-cap IT, and BirlaSoft was no different. And we have seen the stock go from 550, 570 all the way to 300 now, and it looks extremely weak on the short-term charts. Valuations are reasonable, but I still believe that there is some downside that is left. So looks attractive here, but from a 2-3 year point of view. I'm not saying that it looks attractive from a 6 months point of view. Demand to bounce back. Now the reasons why one should accumulate if you are a 3 year time frame player. So if you are short term, let me just demarcate here. If you are buying for 6 months, do not get into it. The valuations could get cheaper from here. It could very well trade at 14 times earnings, currently trading at 18 times. It could very well go down 25% from here. It could very well go to 220, 230 from here. Around 250, 230 is very much possible. But from a long term point of view, if you are looking to double your money over 3 years, this could be something special, because what will happen is from Jan-Feb onwards, things will look better. So once I move on, I'll describe as to why I believe that these all mid-cap IT stocks from a 3 year perspective look extremely good. From a 6 months perspective, there is more downside left. So demand to bounce back, I believe from January, February onwards, demand should bounce back in the whole IT space. Order book is pretty strong, as with other companies also there is order backlog, and so things should move forward once things get going in Europe and US, and rate cycle should peak out by year end. I believe with these kind of aggressive rate hikes, it's even better for most of the market participant, because everything, all the venom will be out in the next 2 quarters or so. So by December, I believe most of the rate hikes in terms of trajectory will end, and by June or so there'll be a reduction in the amount of rate hikes that will take place, maybe 50 basis point, then 25 basis point. And from next year onwards, say 1 year from now, July August onwards, there could be some amount of rate cuts. That's the assessment in my opinion. So I think in the next 1 year this should bottom out for good, and over the next 3 years should perform. Valuations are reasonable at around 17 times forward earnings, but it could go to even 13 times, 12, 13 times 1 year forward earnings. So you have to take into account that fact. So probably you can buy 25% of your total holding at these levels, then buy more at 270, buy more at 250. You can go in a staggered manner in buying into the stock. Can give decent upside from a 3 year perspective. I believe that could be a 600 rupees stock over the next 3 years. And global demand for technology will only pick up going forward, so I don't think there will be issue for demand. But because of the pricing thing and because of the high inflation, you have to give higher, you can say, salaries in terms of pounds and dollars, and everything it comes in that respect. And if you're working in UK, then pound has depreciated a lot with dollars, so a lot of currency swap numbers would go awry for most of the companies. So that is basically where things are going bad. You look at companies that are working in Turkey, because of the lira, there are issues. So I think these all should be rectified by January or so. So next 6 months, 4 5 months could be difficult, and that's where one can probably accumulate the stock. But over the next 3 to 4 years, I believe that the numbers should pick up, and eventually the stock price should go much higher than where it is. But there is a 20% downside that is very much possible. In terms of technicals, it looks weak on charts. So as I said, on a short term basis, it looks extremely weak. 300 looks strong support, but if 300 goes, we are looking at 285, 290, and then even 250 levels could come in. So 300 could be watched out very carefully. The biggest breakout is expected above 400 levels and not at these levels. So do not look good on short term basis, and probably one should avoid buying from a short term perspective. One should look at consumer centric companies with marquee brands and which have price leadership based in India. Those companies should do well from a 6 months perspective. But from a long term point of view, one can start accumulating at these levels. So in my opinion, if you have bought at higher levels, then probably hold on. Do not book your loss here. If you have a 2 3 year time frame, this will go to, I think, 580 600 over that 3 year period. Over the next 2 years, one can see 400 450 on the stock. But over 6 months, there could be some decline. So for fresh buy, wait for some more strength on major declines to 250 levels to buy into. I think IT sector will revive by next year or so. So next 4 months could be difficult for IT. Even today, if you look at the market, then market is doing well, but the sector is under the cosh. So numbers need to be consistent for everything to go along. But I believe with the kind of order book that the company is having, numbers should improve from FY24 onwards. So probably FY23 will go blank for these companies, and that's where the opportunity lies, and probably accumulating the stock. So this was my video on BirlaSoft. Please like and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so you get my videos straight away when I post it. Kindly support me on Patreon. Thanks a lot for watching.